Hey, girlies.
Pause for dramatic effect.
I'm Caitlin.
I'm Abby.
Well, let's get moving. Today, we're going to be talking about
what even is Pilates and is it worth the hype?
Sparkle, sparkle.
Sparkle, sparkle.
Well,
what is Pilates, Caitlin?
I think I'm just going to give I don't know if Pilates is in the Webster Dictionary, but if it was, this is what it would say. It is. Pilates is a movement method based in breath, control, precision, and efficiency, centering concentration, flow, body awareness, harmony, and balance. But what does that even mean?
What does that mean?
We're going to tell you today.
Yeah, we're going to get into it. Our topics today are going to cover.
Well, the basic principles of Pilates is everything I just said.
How to know if what you're doing is Pilates or just a workout on a mat or reformer or whatever.
Because they're not the same.
They are not the same.
What separates Pilates from other movement methods, and if we think Pilates is worth the hype?
Spoiler, we do. Is Pilates for you?
Spoiler, we also think it is. Okay, well, let's get into our content. Okay, so the core principles of Pilates, I think that it's really important that if you want to practice the Pilates method that you know these, because otherwise you're not practicing Pilates. You may be doing movements that feels or looks like Pilates.
They might be making some shapes that are really similar.
But it's not Pilates.
No.
Pilates is, well, first things first, we would like to talk about the man himself, Joe.
Papa Joe.
Papa Joe. Joseph Pilates. He's a real man.
Yes.
He's a real boy.
Yes.
He's not a myth. He's not a legend. He's a real man in the 20s that created this method that we call Pilates. His real last name is Pilates. It may sound mythical because we've heard it a million times, but it's real.
Fun fact, Pilates was not originally called Pilates.
No, it was not.
No.
What was it called, Abby?
It was called Contrology.
Because
it is about control.
Yep.
It became Pilates after Big Papa Joe, rest in peace, died. Because that was the name on the building. It was his last name.
Yep.
That's why it became Pilates.
And that's why we all call it Pilates to this day.
Yes.
I think that he would be sad. I mean, I'm speaking for Joe.
Rolling in his grave.
But I think he'd be sad to know that these principles have potentially been lost in Pilates. And I would think we're going to start with a disclaimer. I'm going to start with a disclaimer. We are not coming for any type of teacher, any type of studio. We have no agenda with this episode other than to educate on the method that we have both found to be incredibly formative in our lives and transformational for our bodies and our health.
Yes.
And the method itself is really what has done that for us. And we feel passionately about spreading that education, not condemning anything else that already exists that is working under.
We are not here to, lack of a better term, like police anybody, police any kind of teaching, any of that. We are here to tell you what we have learned and what was taught to us.
Yes. And what Joseph claims he created.
That is it.
Well, with that, what did Joseph? Let's talk about it. That is all. So if any of this comes out of context on social media reels, please come watch the actual video.
Please come watch the intro of this. Thank you.
Well, I think I'm going to start with breath just because I think, I know a lot of instructors will agree that it's the most important part of the method. Breathing is, I think, one of the coolest things about the human body because it is something that happens without us knowing it's happening, but it's also something that we have the ability to control. There's a lot of scientific language we can give for that, but we don't need to because you don't need to know it.
And that will all happen subconsciously. You can be knocked out, it's still happening.
And you're still breathing.
Yes.
But you also have the ability to use your breath to regulate your nervous system, to encourage muscles to fire properly. Like the breath is so cool, which is why I think before all this science came out about breath, he was able to kind of say, oh, shoot, I think that this is literally the life source of movement.
Yeah, definitely. He has this quote, above all, learn how to breathe correctly, which I feel like just really sums it up.
Yeah, Joe really did on that one.
Yeah. He was really spitting some knowledge on that.
We're going to talk about it a little bit today, but I think we're going to eventually have to do an entire episode on like what is breathing correctly, but we are going to talk about it a little bit here. If some of this goes over your head, that's okay. Let it and come back to a later episode when we actually break this down in depth. We just simply don't have time to get into it all the way. But if some of this is stuff that you already know, I hope that we are able to shed a little bit more light and help you understand the method more. I describe breath as, in my classes, if you've taken them, but I think I usually use it more in privates because I have the time and like space to be able to describe it over time. But I describe breath as the gas in the vehicle. So like if we are the car driving on the street, the breath is the gas. It's the thing that's able to make the car go. And if we aren't breathing correctly, it's not going to work very well. Like if you're driving a diesel vehicle and you put 87 gas in, your diesel vehicle's not going to go very well. No. Just because you put gas in it doesn't mean that it's going to drive.
I'm not a mechanic, but I think at some point it might stop.
My dad does work on cars and I know that it will blow up.
Okay, great.
This is another great Joe quote, but he says that breathing is the first act of life and the last. Our very existence depends on our ability to breathe correctly. We think, because we're talking specifically in the Pilates method, we're going to be talking about 360 diaphragmic lateral breathing. I'm trying to think of what other things you might have heard in classes.
Three-dimensional breathing.
Three-dimensional breathing. If you hear somebody say breathe into your rib cage, breathe into your back,
use your diaphragm.
Those are the ones that I hear most commonly. Yeah, so if you're hearing any of those in classes,
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's what we're about to break down. We love this because there's lots of creators that I follow on Instagram these days that mostly they only talk about breathing, but it can be done at home. There's no equipment needed. It's free. And learning
free
how to
$99, baby.
Free $99. Learning how to breathe properly into your diaphragm, this lateral breath that we're talking about, can completely transform the appearance of your core.
Oh, and completely change your engagement.
Yes, which is ultimately why you build better core muscle.
Yeah. I would say in our day-to-day life, we all kind of breathe like right up in here in our chest, right at like the top of our sternum, right where our chest is, right about where a necklace would hit. We all kind of just live there throughout the day.
Not only is that not good for you to be able to build muscular strength in your diaphragm, because your diaphragm is a muscle, it needs to be strengthened.
Yes, it needs to work.
That also doesn't stimulate your vagus nerve, which means that you're going to stay in a state of fight or flight, which makes you feel more anxious. So breathing can actually make life harder for you if you're not breathing properly, which yes, you need this for Pilates, but also learning how to do this in life. Changing.
Such a good coping mechanism.
Literally, your kid is screaming in the back seat. Start breathing into your diaphragm, baby girl.
Big deep breaths. Big deep breaths for your kid. Big deep breaths for you. Big deep breaths for everyone today.
Yes. So I have found the best way. I'm just going to give a quick rundown. You lay on your back, take your hands, place them on your rib cage, and rather than feeling your chest rise and fall, try to feel your ribs open and expand. If you do that and you're like, I get nothing, take your hands onto your belly and start there. Repeat the exercise with your belly. Breathing into your belly is not lateral breathing. It's very important that we distinguish those. Belly breathing is not the same. However, belly breathing is a lot of times what is the first step to learning how to, because it forces your diaphragm to expand and contract. Yes. The diaphragm sits underneath your lungs. It's a muscle. It does exactly that. Expands and contracts.
So right at the top of your belly, right at the bottom of your chest.
Yep. So yeah, I would start there. Lay on your back, breathe, find that belly rise and fall, belly rise and fall. If you can do that, take your hands to your ribs, feel your ribs open and close, open and close. And we're going to leave it there. If you want to know more, come back to when we have a workshop.
Yeah, we'll do a workshop. We'll do an episode. We'll do something. We'll get into it a little bit deeper one day. But we could genuinely talk for hours
about breathing. Yeah. If you've taken a class, Abby, I have a really good question for you. If you've taken a class and your instructor has not cued this type of breathing, is that a Pilates class?
No.
Is it a workout class?
Yes.
Could it be a really, really good workout class?
It might be one of the best workout classes you've ever taken. That is not Pilates.
No.
Mic drop, point blank, period, end of sentence.
You have to be able to breathe properly to be completing the Pilates method.
And if your instructor is not cueing breath, red flag.
If we're trying to take a classical Pilates class, absolutely. Yep.
Red flag.
Yep.
If you are taking a Pilates class and there is no breath engagement cues happening.
Yes. And the reason I fear for you. The reason that it's so foundational to the method, like again, we're not here to police.
No.
The reason that it's so foundational to the method is because scientifically it changes your body and how your body responds to physical activity. And this isn't a personal opinion. It might have been of Joseph when he created the method, but there is science to back it.
So much science.
As usual, we're going to link it in the the description. So if you want the science on this, we'll give it to you. Go read it.
You can go read the whole study.
Yes, so that you know what we're saying is true. But tell me, what are some of these things that scientifically we've proven diaphragmatic breathing to be responsible for?
The biggest thing with your diaphragmatic breathing is you are pressing down with your diaphragm as you exhale. You're engaging with your transverse abdominis. It's a big, big muscle that wraps around your belly horizontally.
I like to think of it as a Coke can, a cylinder.
Yes. I use this apple analogy in my class a lot.
I love this analogy.
Oh, I love it. Oftentimes when we talk about engaging our core, we think of our six pack. Your six pack is like the skin of an apple. It's just at the front. You are not trying to find the skin of the apple. You are trying to find the core of the apple. You are pulling everything to that middle part. The core of the apple is the part that's in the middle when you slice it with the slicer.
Yeah, the thing that's left, the thing we don't eat.
The thing we
if you don't know that.
You are trying to find that. Okay. So you're pressing down with your diaphragm up at the top. You're pulling up with your pelvic floor at the bottom, and you're pulling your transverse abdominis in through the middle.
Which is why you'll hear like cinch your waistline.
Yeah.
Knit your rib cage together.
Knit your ribs down in together.
Pull your ribs down.
Belly button to spine, which I
belly button to spine. That's what they're cueing. I agree. It's not my favorite cue. Just from teaching experience, I haven't found it to be.
It just makes people vacuum their stomach a lot.
Right.
Which is not what you're doing.
And that has its own place.
Yes.
Vacuuming is used in other places.
But that is not what we're trying to find here. But all of that works together. It's like a pressure cylinder. You're regulating your intra-abdominal pressure, which might mean nothing to you, especially if you're like 23 and you're just like living life solo dolo, no kids. But one day if you jump or sneeze and accidentally pee yourself, you're going to care about your intra-abdominal pressure.
There's actually a lot more reasons that you're going to care. Not only that you jump or sneeze and you pee.
Or if you can't fully relax and you have painful sex, not going to be fun.
There's so many. You honestly are constipated. Your pelvic floor is struggling. Like there's so many reasons.
You have to be able to relax your pelvic floor to pass a bowel movement.
There's so many reasons that this breath matters. It also calms your nervous system.
Yes.
Because like I said, it stimulates your vagus nerve, which is allowing us to come out of that fight or flight mode, entering into our rest and digest. It's going to help our abdominal cavity function properly, which really is, like we said, a million things. There's so much going on down there.
So many things. Supporting your spine.
I was going to say, it's going to improve your posture. Everything. It's going to make you stand taller, but it's also going to do medical things like lower your blood pressure. So there's so many reasons that we could talk about breath forever. Again, that's why we're going to come back to this.
Another episode.
Because we are spitting this at you.
We love it.
We are going to have to move on though.
Yeah.
That's one of the core principles of Pilates breath. The next one we're going to talk about is control, which is what the method was actually technically named after.
Contrology. Yep. I would argue in a Pilates class, every single thing that you do, you should feel control over the
Absolutely. If you don't have control over the movement, again, I don't think you're doing Pilates. You may be completing the shapes.
Yes.
But I don't think that you're using the method of Pilates.
Or you might not be executing the movement properly.
Also true. Great.
A good way to know that you're not executing it properly. And if you're like, how do I know if I'm... Slow it down.
Yep.
My first recommendation every single time, slow it down.
And can you control every part of it? Not just like, can I control the shape that I'm making, but can I control the muscle that's engaging? Can I control the muscles that aren't engaging?
Can I control the force, the speed, the trajectory?
Yes.
All of it.
Can I control whatever equipment I'm on?
Yeah.
Like,
can I control relaxing down through my neck, through my trap as I engage
Is my hand
core?
grip? If you take a ton of reformer, is my hand gripping and curling around the side of your carriage? That's not control.
Am I doing footwork gripping onto my carriage?
Right. Once that stuff starts happening, that's not control of your body.
Yeah.
That's your body showing signals that it is struggling, which means in some way or other, you have left the Pilates method because we've lost control over our body and you have to find a way to re-enter it. Yeah. That's a great, again,
and maybe
asterisk.
That's a smaller range of motion. Like maybe it's literally just taking a regression.
More weight.
Less weight, more weight.
Depending on the exercise.
Support, depending on the exercise. Reducing your range of motion, coming to a smaller movement.
Yep.
Or
going down progression. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Until you can build up that strength.
But if you can't control it, again, well, not only is it not Pilates, but it's not going to help you.
No. No, you're just not. You're not going to advance in it.
No, you're not. You're going to struggle. That's why you'll we just did a guest episode where she said she'd taken 300 classes and she just hadn't seen the growth. Sometimes it comes down to things as simple as control.
Yeah.
And that's why you're not progressing. Not saying that's the reason that she wasn't, but I think people can fall into that rut with Pilates.
For sure.
The next one we're going to talk about is body awareness and precision. Another great Joe quote. A few well-designed movements properly performed in a balanced sequence are worth hours of sloppy calisthenics or forced contortion. Do it right once, and you won't have to do it bad multiple times and wonder why you're not seeing results. Yeah. My husband works in construction, and there's this obvious construction saying, measure twice, cut once.
Yes.
Because you can't cut again.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Why would you be like, oh, shoot, I cut wrong, and then still do that again? Just do it slow, do it right the first time, make sure it's right, do it right or do it twice. And then honestly, you still might not get results from doing it twice. So just do it right. Just slow it down. Do it right.
Is making the shape the same as feeling the shape?
No, if you've ever taken my class, I really do. This is one of those hills as an instructor I'm willing to die on.
Yes.
And I think that comes from my background as a dancer. The creation of the shape is not the same as the intention behind the shape.
Yeah. Because
shapes are a waste of time, to be completely honest. Completing shapes is a waste of time. I love art, and I don't mean this to be a dig at art, but you're not here to make art. You're not here to make shapes.
No.
You're here to control your body and activate specific muscles, and we're using shapes to create that environment in which the muscle can fire at its absolute best, so that it can grow, or so that it can strengthen, or so that it can stabilize whatever it is, whatever tension we're putting on the muscle, what we're asking of the muscle to do. The shape has been created for that purpose.
Yeah.
If you've taken my class, I change shapes. Although I do try to teach a very classical style of Pilates, I really do love the repertoire, so I teach it as classically as possible. I'll throw modifications that aren't in the repertoire because the shape is not serving the body in front of me.
100%.
I know the purpose of the shape, so I'm going to find a different one that will actually ask the body to perform in that way. So no, if you're just going to class and you're doing donkey kicks because the person at the front is doing donkey kicks, you're probably not going to see the best activation. Again, it comes back to slow control, because donkey kicks have great benefits.
They do.
They do. There's a lot going on there. We like a donkey kick in the right place at the right time.
But in my Pilates class, that is the hill I will die on. No,
that's her hill.
Sorry. That's my hill. That's my hill.
Yes. But no, shapes are not the same as movement. And I think it's really important that we remember that, because the reason that we're working our body out is to usually there's a couple, but either change the way that our body looks, change the way that our body feels, or become more connected to our body.
Yeah.
And completing a shape isn't going to give you any of those three things, but using the shape is going to. I think that's a massive concept in yoga as well. It's not about the shapes. The shapes go on your body to help your body grow.
No. It's more about how it's happening, the sequence in which it's happening, and the why behind the movement.
We love a why.
Such a big thing. We love a why.
We live
for a why. If you haven't noticed, we live for a why. No, but truly, understanding the purpose of the exercise. You should know the purpose of the exercise that you are being asked to complete.
And we both firmly believe this. If you don't, you should be able to ask your teacher, and they should be able to
be able to tell you.
That's why you are paying them to show up to that class.
Yes.
Because otherwise you could take an online class.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You should be able to,
at that point, I think we've crossed over from a teaching environment to a instructing environment.
Which those are not the same.
You are not teaching me something that I am learning. Mm-hmm. You are instructing me the order to complete an exercise.
Right.
That's it.
And even in instruction spaces, you should still be instructed on the proper ways in which to do it, because you are not a Pilates instructor.
No.
That's why you're there. And we firmly believe that.
Yes.
That may get people fired up, but we firmly believe that.
Yeah. Also, it helps create an understanding of what's going on in your body, and creating body awareness. Body awareness is not only just proprioception,
knowing
understanding where your body is in space, but it is also knowing what is engaging, being able to feel it in your body, being able to feel the sequence in which it's happening, being able to feel everything relaxed.
Yep.
Joe had a quote on No, never mind. I'm going to butcher it. But
we could quote Joe all day.
We really could quote Joe all day. But you should be able to relax everything else as you're working.
And this stuff matters not only now because you're trying to build a body, but this stuff matters as our body ages.
Yeah.
Proprioception scientifically has been used as like one of the biggest flags of dictating if a body will fall and the repercussions of that body's fall. So having higher proprioception, knowing your body's awareness in space, like being like, oh, my right hand is over here. Even if I might close my eyes, I know my right hand is moving front and back.
And I know where
it is, which may sound very simple, but you would be surprised at how little body awareness you have if you actually close your eyes and you try to complete a class.
Or if you close your eyes and stand on one leg.
Truly. Which if you've ever taken my class, I make you do that too. But yes, that stuff matters. Just talking about like not falling and ultimately dying
for your
older age.
Long-term health, truly. On the same train with proprioception, a big one that we talk about a lot is concentration.
Yes, another pillar of Pilates.
Can you tell me about concentration?
Yeah. Concentration is the ability to connect the mind and the body. That's like what it is. That's the concentration is the thing that connects them. So again, if you've ever taken my class, which if you haven't taken our classes, we are hoping to eventually get classes online. So if you're watching these and you haven't taken our classes, keep your eyes out because we do want to be able to teach these to all of our friends online. But I start all my classes, your eyes are closed, you're laying on your back and you're breathing deeply because I firmly believe that the ability to connect to your body starts in your mind. And if we can't quiet our mind, we're just not going to have a good workout. Yeah. So concentrating really does matter. If you're completing the exercise, but you're thinking about your to-do list, you're just really like, again, there's science on this. You're not getting the best out of that workout. I tell people a lot of times, I'm happy you're here, but you're only half here, which means you're only getting half the benefits of being here.
Well, and I know it's easier said than done to just be like, oh, I'm just going to tune this out but like, if you come to a 45-minute class, there is realistically nothing in the next 45 minutes that you can do to check something off of your to-do list.
No, because you're already in the room.
You're already in the room. Mm-hmm. So you might as well put your phone on Do Not Disturb, or if you have the luxury of doing so.
Right. I know some of us can't.
I know some of you can't. And truly focus in and hone in because you are not you can think about your grocery list all day, but it's not going to get you to the grocery store and get any of the grocery shopping done.
No, truly.
It's not. The best use of your 45 minutes in that class
is to be there
and to be present. And honestly, when you're not, you really risk hurting yourself.
Yes. That's what I was going to say. Yes. Injury is the number one reason. Yes. There's a million things we could talk about on concentration, about how it boosts your confidence, how it makes your muscle engage properly. Like there's literally a million things. It improves
your muscle engagement.
Yeah. Improves your cognitive function. Like we could go on and on and on about how it helps your mental health. I wrote Sparkle Mental Health. Yeah. There are a million things we could talk about on concentration, but I think we're going to have to work forward into our notes on flow and efficiency and harmony. And how these things kind of come together. Because I think these three are linked. And these are the last three pillars of Pilates that we're going to talk about today.
Flow, I feel like a big misconception. You're not moving quickly. You're moving intentionally and thoughtfully from one thing to the next.
I love to think of this as you have a needle and it has a long thread. If you're trying to make something with it, I like to embroider.
Okay.
You need to kind of find, like the thread has to move through the fabric.
Yeah.
Me going faster isn't going to create something better.
No.
Me going slower might. What it's really about is the way that the needle is moving through the fabric, where it's being placed, how it's being placed, how I'm pulling the thread through. Am I getting knots in my thread? It's about how it's happening and the consistency in which it's happening, not the speed, which I think a lot of people get confused with the concept of flow.
Definitely.
Flow is also not the same concept as yoga, where you're flowing through movement to movement, and then they call that a flow, and you repeat that. Pilates, that does not exist in the Pilates method. No. Some teachers may teach in that style, and that's a stylistic choice. That isn't what we're speaking when we're talking about flow of Pilates. Yeah.
No, we're talking about that fluid motion, that fluid movement.
Which again comes back to control, the ability to control it from one thing to another. It all links
together.
It does, yeah. Which also I think is going to talk about efficiency. So that's one of the, in my opinion, one of the biggest highlights of Pilates is efficiency. Pilates recruits the right muscle at the right time at the exact right amount if the exercise is done properly. Yes. It is a very efficient movement style. So you are going to be building muscle. There's a lot of caveats we could give to that, but we don't have time. That you're building muscle at the best way possible. Yeah. Yes, which is why a lot of times that's why we just aren't the biggest fans of things like donkey kicks, because they're just not that efficient. There's a lot of other ways that you can fire the hamstring, but that's for our fitness friends. We don't need to talk about that with you guys. That's okay. And then how all of this comes together is the concept of harmony, which is why I think Pilates is such a beautiful method, because everything works in a system to create that feeling that you leave when you when you take a good Pilates class. Yes. Not a hard Pilates class, not one where you were shaking, not one where you're sweating, but a good one. You leave, not saying that there are bad ones, but the ones that you leave and you're just like, man, my body feels like
I feel floating. Like $1 million.
I feel like $1 million.
Yeah.
That's harmony. Yeah. That's because everything that we just told you is working together to create that feeling. Your body was working at its most efficient, the best control, the best muscle recruitment. Your mind was fully focused. Yes. And so you do leave feeling with that kind of Pilates high.
I would relate it most closely to like if you were like a former dancer, cheerleader, etc. Like if you ever had gymnast, if you had a routine that like hit, that's harmony.
Yes.
Where you're like, yep, and that was mic drop. Like that was it.
Yeah. And you know that your workout's done and you feel good about it being done. Yeah. So those are the basic concepts of Pilates. How do you know if you're doing Pilates? Well, if it doesn't have those things that we just talked about, it isn't Pilates.
Not Pilates.
It may be a great workout and we love them, but it's not going to be Pilates. It really does have to have the foundations because that's what Joe believed in. And ultimately what you're doing is a method that a man created. I believe in integrity. Yes. I believe that we owe it to the method to complete it properly.
Yes.
Or don't call it the method.
And I will go as far to say, look up the classical mat Pilates sequence.
Oh my gosh,
if you're a mat girly, if those exercises do not look familiar to you, I fear for you.
Yeah,
I fear for if they don't look like in some way maybe worked in.
If maybe you're trying to do Pilates, if you want to be doing Pilates and you don't know these exercises,
if you're a sculpt queen, slay. Like do your thing.
We love
a sculpt class. But
yes,
if you are like looking for like mat Pilates specifically,
or reformer or Cadillac, whatever version, there are
if none of that is looking familiar,
yes,
it's a little bit of a red flag.
You need to check in on that. And also, this is just our plug. Not for ourselves, but for Pilates.
Yeah.
Look up the mat sequence and do it.
Yeah.
Humble yourself. You will be shocked at how hard that stuff is.
How hard that is. You would be shocked.
You'll be shocked. With that's kind of what's gonna tell you like how it's so different from other methods.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in Pilates or you don't, I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably kind of believe in Pilates. But if you're like, I don't really know if it's really worth all the hype, literally get on your phone, go to YouTube, look up classical 36 mat Pilates.
Yeah.
Click the video, do it from top to bottom, and tell me that that's not one of the best workouts you've ever done in your life.
Easily one of the best workouts you've ever done.
Humbling and so hard.
So what separates Pilates from other movement methods?
Well, I think the mind-body connection.
Yeah.
There are lots of methods that have that, but I think that it's not based in any spiritual realm, which we have with other methods.
Yeah.
It's not based in physique. Joe cared about physique. Joseph, we can call him his full name. We talk to him like he's in the girly chat.
Papa Joe.
Joseph cared about physique, but I think ultimately it was above physique was the intention, the precision, not intensity of the movement, but the precision of the movement. And then how it helps your body. He was huge on the spine. Yeah. He truly believes, he has a very, very, very famous quote that you're only as young as your spine is flexible. And I think that those are probably our biggest separating things, which is why I believe that it's important that Pilates stays kind of true to its roots. We as teachers have the liberty to shift and mold it to today's society and what people are looking for. But I do think the roots are important so that we don't lose.
And I'm not saying like, don't modify to the body in front of you. You absolutely should modify to the body in front of you. And if you don't feel that you are being modified to, that's like something to like
absolutely
think about.
Yes.
But you should still stay true in some way, shape, or form to the roots of it.
So that we get these really good benefits.
Absolutely. So is Pilates worth the hype?
I think yes. Yeah. Obviously, I love Pilates. I love it so much. I believe that when it's taught in its most pure form with the right intentions, it can change lives. I literally had a client today that I've worked with for many, many, many years doing the classical version of Pilates, teaching the classical repertoire too. And I will no longer be able to work with them just because of like life changes. But they literally gave me a hug today and they told me that what I have taught them has changed their life. It has transformed their life. And it was nothing that I did. I mean, I guess I can take partial credit, but really what I did was teach them this beautiful method. Yeah. And because of that, yes, I think it's worth the hype.
Yeah. That method has been changing lives and bodies since long before it was a fad. Long
before Instagram found it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Long before matching sets came.
Way before.
Yes. Pilates has had hype with certain groups for a long time. Yeah. Not hype that people don't believe in it, but hype because they've heard testimonies of the way that it has changed people's bodies. Yeah. Definitely. Well, Abby.
Well,
is Pilates... I have a question. I have one more question.
Okay.
Is Pilates for our viewers?
Duh. Yay.
We love Pilates.
I'm a firm believer Pilates is for everybody, every body, every human.
Yep. Maybe your dog even.
Maybe your dog. Honestly,
if they're smart.
Maybe. Why not give it a go? Well, it's been enough productivity for one day.
I know.
I do fear that the clock is going to file a formal complaint. So we do have to wrap this up. But
truly, we talked a lot today.
We did.
And we're going to do it again next week.
Yes, we are.
Yep.
Yes, we are. You can catch us here. Same time.
Same place.
Same place.
Good content.
Yes.
I'm excited about next week, so tune in.
Yeah.
We'll see you.
Send it to your friends, your mom, your dog's neighbor's friend, sister's brother, I don't know, whoever. If you know a woman, you are a woman. Like
These are
let us know what you want to hear.
No, but do follow us. Yeah. Like our content. The more that you engage with this content, the more that we get to create this content. So yeah. And then if you have any questions, please tell us below.
Definitely.
We would love more than anything
to answer your questions.
Literally, we are so passionate about Pilates. We would love to have these conversations. If your comments are more than just leaving it on our Instagram or this, DM us.
DM us. Hit us in the DMs. Yeah. We will respond.
We will. We would love to have a chat.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, that's all we have.
Don't forget, grab your pink.
And get moving. Bye.
Bye.